I don't know very much about Diddy myself, to be honest. But Hooky is playing very, very fresh right now, I will say. As I just played some friendlies with him, and he was actually playing very well. Had quite a dominating performance versus me today. So let's see how he can do in this matchup. Secures the first point, very nice, with a single tap top spin cross court. Gets Mart to slip up and hit the ball out of bounds, very nice. So he gets himself off to an early first point lead. Hits the ball right into Daisy as she net rushes, secures Mart his first point, 15-15, very nice. Mart looking like he's willing to make some aggressive moves in this game based off that first point. On that one, Hooky is the one making the aggressive move, but he slips up on a single tap flat, and Mart is able to lob him for the point, takes a 30-15 lead. Mart slips up on one of the first shots of neutral, but catches the follow-up punish from Hooky and secures a point, charging net. Very well played from Mart right there. If Mart scores one more, he will take this first game, which would be a great start for him as the underdog in the matchup. Diddy backhand, yes, Diddy backhand can be quite a disaster at times. We got a nice baseline rally back and forth. Diddy's baseline slice is most likely the best baseline slice in the game, which is such a weird thing to say. It goes so fast for being a slice at baseline. It's really something else. It's incredible. Hooky forces a lunge. Mart's able to cover it, but in the follow-up from that, Hooky is able to secure a point with a single tap topspin cross court. Shy Guys? Okay, Shy Guy, you might be right, yeah. And Hooky secures a third straight point, gets himself back to deuce. This first game will not go to Mart that easily. Hooky trips him up with the outside serve, scoring a fourth point. Taking advantage in this here first game. A little cheeky play right there. Gotta be ready for those. Sometimes it's hard to be, though. I admit, most people, even like I, will fall for that occasionally, unfortunately. At least it wasn't to end the game. That's where it's a real heartbreaker. It only put Hooky in advantage. Hooky getting a lot of value out of these single tap topspins so far, but that's been his primary method of scoring. But as a punish, it is coverable by Daisy, so he's got to be careful with those. Mart with some great catches, some great defense here, but he slips there. Mart's still in this. The lob was a little greedy, though, and that will secure Hooky his first game. Mart playing some excellent defense and response, though. Definitely a competitive game one, for sure. Match looking to be off to a great start. Hooky takes game one. Let's see where we can go from here. Hooky, I believe, scored, what, 4 points in a row there? Mart might have scored 1 in the tiebreak. I do not remember, but Hooky definitely on a little bit of momentum right now. Goes for the lob. Mart punishes nicely, gets the slam, but not quite able to secure the point. Diddy, is that Diddy? No, that's Diddy's forehand right there, huh? Interesting. Still, Mart able to trip him up, and eventually secure the point off of some good advantage state. Mart currently leads 15-0. We got some baseline and flats versus slices going on. Hooky moving up slowly, taking pressure. Tries to charge net, but Mart catches him off guard with a slow single tap topspin, which lets Hooky move out of the range of the shot. A very smart tactic that only few people really utilize in this mode. Mart goes for the lob on the lob. Hooky is ready for it, secures his first point of this game. Mart still leads 30-15 in this game too, though. Hooky is up 1-0 overall. Let's see where we go from here. What a weird line I have chosen as my default for this commentating thing. Let's see where we go from here. That's okay. It works well enough. Solid smash from Hooky there. Gets a lunge, but Mart is able to survive. And is fully reset to neutral, I'll say, yeah. Great single tap flat by Mart. Catches Hooky out of position. Secures him a third point in this game. One more, and this will be a tie game overall. Let's see if he can find something cheeky here. Got some baseline action going on. Hooky's slowly trying to move up and take his advantage. You can see it. He backs back down. Mart tries to take a step forward for a second. Almost looks like he's willing to contest here. It's possible. They're both moving up slightly. Mart is now taking the advantage, but an amazingly lucky net from Hooky secures him the point. I agree. Mart's going to need to move up, but I think Mart has shown he is willing to move up. He's just playing it safe until he sees his opportunity, which I think is fine. He has shown that he's not only going to play it from the baseline, I think, already. Amazing catch by Mart. I actually thought he was tripping up on that one. And see, here he goes, moving up, and he catches Hooky sleeping, gets the 1-1 game. Mart making this one competitive for sure. Mart slipping up on the serve yet again. Gives Hooky a nice first point in this here third game. A lob right after that as Mart tries to rush. Hooky seems to be in full control on this one so far. Hooky actually getting quite a lot out of serving, strangely. Calling Mart's greedy rushes and also just cheesing points off of serves themselves. Very nice by Hooky for sure. 40-0 lead in this here's third game. Goes for another lob. Mart's a little more ready this time. Still doesn't really gain anything for it though, and in the end it kind of was a piece of the puzzle that led to that point for Hooky with a solid 4-0 game happening in about under a minute. Dominating game 3 by Hooky brings us to a 2-1 lead for him. Let's see if Mart can get something going again or if Hooky is locked in. That felt like a lot of slightly cheesy points, mostly due to Mart getting too greedy, but still. Let us see where we go. Great lob by Mart as Hooky tries to rush. Hooky actually can't catch the follow-up shot, giving Mart his first point of this fourth game. An early lead can definitely help him tie this one back up overall. That is what he wants to see. Let's see if he can find another one. We got some baseline battles going on right now. Diddy slices versus Daisy flats for the most part. Occasional Diddy slats thrown in as they throw you off of the curve of the slice, as the slice can do some real damage if you're not ready for it. Solid topspin, not going to make much happen, but allowed Hooky to fully take net. But Mart defends excellently, but Hooky defends excellently right back and secures the point. That was some good net defense right there from both players that ends up with Hooky coming out ahead with a 15-15 game. Hooky leads 2-1 in games overall. Nice catch by Hooky right there. That was definitely a close one. And Mart calls the hook shot, as we have come to call it between me and Hooky at the very least. That same side shot when he gets to net, he loves it with almost too much at times when he can get that option. He uses it pretty much every time in those situations. He is now catching on, but it's still such a regular thing that we've kind of attributed to him. At least me and him have. Excellent point by Hooky there, getting Mart to trip up out of the court. Very nice. Slow shot right there from Daisy. Didn't really matter. Mart goes for an aggressive play moving up there. Not quite able to find anything, but also does not lose anything. We have reset slightly. Hooky tries to move up, lunges in the process, but gets Mart to lob him back. Reset to neutral in the end after all is said and done. A slow shot from Mart results in nothing. We're continuing this baseline battle. Who will be the one to move up first? Who is going to stay back? And it looks like Hooky will be the one advancing. But he goes right back out. Mart now trying to make his own move. Moves right back out, but gets the lob. And that should not secure him this point. Diddy is a hard beast to crack. But as the point continues on, Mart stays slightly in advantage state and is able to secure the point for a 40-30 lead in this game 4. Mart can get one more point. This game will be tied up entirely. Mart playing excellently thus far, as is Hooky. Very good game overall. Very defensive. Let us see where we get from here. Ooh, a rough trip up from Hooky. The down the line from Mart. Hooky's ready for it. Be able to reset. Very nice. Back to some neutral here. Mart going for a lot of single tap flats here, going for weaker shots. Hooky doing a little bit back as well. Seems like Mart is very much relying on those at the moment, though. Hooky looks like he's posturing to move forward, but not actually fully committing, maybe trying to convince Mart to go in. Eventually he's able to trip Mart up just in the neutral game at the baseline. Mart makes a slight movement mishap, and Hooky is able to tie us up in deuce in this game 4. Hooky moving up, trying to take net a little bit here in this battle, trying to make something happen, backs up after he doesn't find anything. Once again, he's finding something, but Mart is covering it all excellently. Mart goes for the down the line. Hooky is ready for it, and if that option gets caught, it's a great option. Second it gets caught, you lose that point, though, so it's a dangerous one. And Hooky does catch it, secures himself advantage in this here game 4. solid attempt by Mart there. Hooky was ready for it. We reset to neutral. Some flat or topspin battles going on. And that will secure Hooky a game 3. That is a 3-1 lead for Hooky. We move on to game 5. Let us see where we go from here. What will happen in this next round? Some sharp angle battles here. They both seem to back up and give up on it. Mart trying to catch him off with some fancy slices here. Trying to push up, find some advantages. It seems like who is willing to take more risks is actually winning thus far, but it is close. I feel like Hooky has been slightly more willing to take risks, and that has led to him getting slightly more advantages, but not by a significant margin. Mart is also making plays, just not often enough, not as often as Hooky, and that is resulting in him barely losing these games, as every game has been competitive, except for, I think, game 3. And as of right now, we have a nice 15-15 game that has looked competitive already. Mart trying to make something happen. I like it. I think he's getting a little too reliant on the down-the-line double taps. I think he needs to throw more of the single taps in, even if it feels like Hooky could catch them, as Hooky is currently trying to cover the down-the-lines. As a more focus, because that is the primary option Mart is going for. Great lob by Mart. Great catch. That will not score, though. What will Mart's follow-up be? Greedy drop, and since he was swinging the racket, he's unable to make it back. Very unfortunate. Great catch by Hooky right there. Resets himself to neutral despite giving up a lob. Very nice. From here, Mart hits a level 1 lob, not punished. We continue to bounce back and forth here. That might force a lunge, not quite. We're still some real dangerous neutral here, but we're still surviving. Both players are holding on. They're going for greedy options that are putting them in bad spots, but they're both holding on just fine. Neither one's slipping up yet on this point. At this point, they both seem to be just chilling back at baseline. Let's see who's willing to make a move first. It seems to be Hooky, but he backs off pretty fast. But he gives the nice topspin from right behind T-line, which is a classic move of both Diddy and Toad. Daisy can also do it as well, I would assume, but I don't think Daisy is quite as fast as a topspin as them, as weird as that is to say. I'm glad people are liking my commentary. I'm trying my best with them. If you get me to stream your matches, you get it. Great shots by... Oh, we've got a battle of cross-court angles here, and it looks like Hooky will come out as the winner simply because Mart hit a down-the-middle shot to him, which becomes a free point, essentially, in that battle. Not the option you want to go for there, unfortunately. That will put Hooky up 4-1 in this game overall. Although, once again, a rather deceptive game, I would say. Mart has made this a lot closer than it currently looks, and I would not be surprised if he's able to get a few more games here at the end. As he is competing, I feel like he's just got some patterns that Hooky is recognizing better than he's able to recognize within Hooky, if that makes sense. And a good attempt at a net rush. Hooky is ready for it. Looks like that will just secure him the point. Daisy not able to catch those drops if Hooky is able to catch the option. Not quite fast enough shots. These level 1 lobs. If you can't get the level 2, it's a little risky to go for it at times, to go for the lob at times, but sometimes you have to still, just to get him off. If you can't get the level 2, I often like just going for a single tap flat or topspin and hoping you get the right guess on them, because you're likely going to be staying in disadvantage anyways. Maybe it's better to risk it all for either a point or them getting the points since you're already in disadvantage. But there's an argument for all of them. It's just good to mix up all the different options. Hooky running away if this game sticks a little bit. A 40-0 lead. If he can keep this going, he will secure game points if he can get one more point here. Mart, this would be a good time to start turning it around. He can't here, which it looks like he won't. He's got down to his last chance. Mart will have to win 4 games in a row if he wants to be able to give Hooky anything back. 6 games in a row if he wishes to win at this point. Let us see where we go from here. Thank you so much for the follow, Chaotic. Solid lob from Hooky. Mart was ready for it. Mart lobs back. Hooky also ready for it. In the end, the point still ends up going to Hooky, though. From here, Hooky has a solid lead. Let's see what Mart can make happen here. Yeah, Hooky is locked into the optimal position to deal with Diddy, I do agree. The level 2 lob finally. Level 2 lob finally for Mart. Getting the level 2 lob allows him to secure that point once and for all there. Very nice. He's going to need a few more of those if he wants to get back in this game, or at least something like that. He's got to make something happen here. He is in a huge deficit. Maybe time to go for a little bit more risks. You're losing the neutral game anyways. Maybe time to try and force something. The big problem here is primarily that Hooky is just calling more of Mart's tendencies than Mart is calling on Hooky's, though. Hooky once again gets a good call on the lob punish, secures himself yet another point. 2 points away from winning here, hits himself a nice slice. Mart is not ready for it. This is match point right here. One more point for Hooky and this game will be over. Mart has to make something happen now if he wants to make a comeback in this match. If not, this one will be over right here and now. Great catch. Can he do it again? He can, but Hooky calls the down the line and is able to win the match 6-1. Excellent play by Hooky all around. Final score 28-12. It definitely was more competitive early on. Hooky found the rhythm and took full control of that game. Found Mart's bad tendencies, found the position he needed, and just steamrolled for the second half. Excellent play by Hooky.